Welcome class 7 in our e-learning class, and we have already come towards the end of this chapter, how the state government works. So come to page number 38 today. The government can also decide to make new laws for the state regarding sanitation and health facilities. For example, it may make it compulsory for municipal corporations to ensure that there are adequate toilets in every urban area. So in this way, the government can take care of the sanitation matter of a state. This act of making laws, I missed one line. It may also ensure that a health worker is appointed in every village. This act of making laws on certain issues is done in the legislative assembly of each state. The various government departments then implement these laws. Underline this one, that starting from this one, that this act of making laws on certain issues is done in the legislative assembly of each state. The various government departments then implement these laws up to this. Laws for the entire country are made in the parliament. You will read more about the parliament next year. That means in class 8 you will come to know about parliament. In a democracy, it is the people, and start underlining. In a democracy, it is the people who elect their representatives as members of the legislative assembly or MLAs, and thus it is the people who have the main authority. Don't forget that we are having the main authority. The ruling party, underline, the ruling party members then form the government and some members are appointed ministers. So in this way, the MLAs, they become ministers. One question is there, the answers I have written on the board. After the explanation part, I will move aside and I will write these two answers. After that, I will erase the board and I will complete writing other two answers. So in this way, we will complete this chapter today. So these ministers are in charge of various departments of the government, such as health in the above example. Whatever work is done by these departments has to be approved by the members of the legislative assembly. So here lies the power of legislative assembly, that whatever work is done by these departments of the government, all the actions or all the decisions must be approved by the members of the legislative assembly. Now here is the matter of one wallpaper project. You are well acquainted with this one because many a times we have also done the same. Wallpaper is an interesting activity through which research can be done on particular topics of interest. The following photographs explain the different aspects involved in creating a wallpaper in a classroom. So after introducing the topic and having a brief discussion with the whole class, the teacher divides the class into groups. The group discusses the issue and decides what it would like to include in the wallpaper. Children then work individually or in pairs to read the collected material and write their observations or experiences. They can do this through creating stories, poems, case studies, interviews, etc. The group looks at the material that they have selected, drawn or written. They read each other's writing and provide feedback to each other. They make decisions on what should be included and finalize the layout of the wallpaper. This is some sort of group study or group discussion also we can say. Each group then presents the wallpaper to the entire class. It is important that more than one member of the group is asked to present and that each group is allotted the same amount of time to discuss their work. After each group has presented, it would be a good idea to have a feedback session on the following: what more could they do on their own? How could their work be organized better? How could writing and presentation be improved upon? So children, with this we have completed the chapter. Now this is the time for question answers. I am moving aside and I am reading the questions and then the answers so that you can check the answer properly from the board. Now first question, use the terms constituency and represent to explain who an MLA is and how is the person elected. So I have written the answer in this manner. Each state of India is divided into different constituencies. And from each constituency, the people elect one representative who then becomes a member of the legislative assembly and also forms the government. In this way, an MLA represents people. An MLA is elected through general election. This is the second part of the question. That is how an MLA is elected. Now, I think that only this much is enough for you, that an MLA is elected through general election. Now, if we just go to elaborate this part, then the answer will become some sort of thesis. So, better to write in one sentence only that an MLA is elected through general election. Now, we all know the election process, that the person must be from one, better if the person is from one political party and people will cast their vote for that particular member of the party, and in this way if the person is getting majority, then he will become, or if he is getting the maximum vote, then he will become the MLA. The next question, how did some MLAs become ministers? Explain. After the elections, the MLAs belonging to the ruling party will elect their leader as the chief minister, and the chief minister then selects other people as ministers. The chief minister and the other ministers have the responsibility of running various government departments. In this way, some MLAs become ministers. While explaining only, I said, that in this way, the MLAs, they will also become ministers, because they get the responsibility from the chief minister to look after certain departments. Okay, children, now you just wait. Let me erase the board and I will write the rest answers on the board. Okay, children, so come to the next part. That means the next question. Why should decisions taken by the chief minister and other ministers be debated in the legislative assembly? So the answer is like this. I have written, the decisions taken by the chief minister and other ministers are debated in the legislative assembly to ensure that those means the decisions are for the welfare of the common people as well as for the country. The decisions must be approved by the MLAs, comma. In our democracy, the MLAs have the authority to debate on an important issue and decide where money should be spent. In this way, the government functions properly. Remember, here the comma mark is very important. Here, this comma mark is very important. Number 4. Sorry, this should not be the answer of number 4. This is actually answer number 5. I'm extremely sorry for this one. This is answer number 5. So answer number 4 you leave it, because it is given everywhere there, and you can just put it in these columns, that what was the problem in Patalpuram, what discussion, action was taken by the following, fill in the table. Leave it, no need to do this one. Come to number 5. What is the difference between the work that MLAs do in the assembly and the work done by government departments? The MLAs can express their opinions and ask questions related to a particular issue and give suggestions about what should be done by the government in the assembly, full stop. Whereas the government departments implement the decisions made by the legislative assembly. Okay, so children, with this we have completed this chapter, and in our next class we will start the next chapter, that is growing up as boys and girls. Till then, bye.